Greetings Guzzlers. Been a little while since I made any cupcakes, in fact quite a long time. We're coming up to Easter, and I stumbled across, I follow, as I've said before, a YouTube channel, Pies and Tacos. Camilla Hurst, I think it is, runs that one. Well, this is certainly Camilla Hurst's recipe, and I'm pretty sure she's Pies and Tacos. But anyway, she's made these Easter Bunny Cupcakes, and I thought, gonna give them a go. Partly because they're packed full of coconut. Although, to be honest, she uses something called coconut extract, which I presume is a little bit like a vanilla extract type thing. Can't find that anywhere, so that's not going in there. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to beat up some butter. Now, her recipe and the quantities I'm going to quote you are for 14 cupcakes. I'm making more than that, so I've doubled everything. So if you look at some of these and think, well, that don't look right for like 60 mils, it's because I've got double quantity. But I'll try to make sure I use her quantities, not mix too much for you. So I've got some slightly softened butter there. I've got 56 grams. I was about to tell you how much I've got. Okay, and in that goes. And first thing we're going to do, I haven't got butter all over our hands, is beat that together to get it, as it were, nice and light and fluffy. I've done the butter for a little bit, but before I finish making it light and fluffy, we're going to add 200 grams of sugar. And that's when I suddenly realised I doubled everything else, I hadn't doubled the sugar, hence I've got 2 bowls of sugar in there. So 200 grams of that, and then this is where we're now just going to beat this all together. Into that butter and sugar mix, we're now going to crack 3 eggs, one at a time. So put one in and beat it in before we add the next. Okay, so there's number 1. She would do this into a bigger bowl. Unfortunately, my other big bowl's in use at the moment. So in here I've got 160 grams of plain flour, and I'm going to add to that half a teaspoon of fine salt. Okay, try not to get lumpy bits in it. We're going to sieve this in a minute, and then I want half a teaspoon of baking soda. That's that one. Oops, don't want to lump like that in it. And then we want, I want that again. A tablespoon of bacon. 2 teaspoons. Sorry, right. Better get this right. The quantities you're going to use, if you're following the other ends, is 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm using 2 because I've doubled everything. Right, get this out of the way, and then we're going to sieve this. Right, we want a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We want some shredded coconut, 30 grams of that. This bowl ain't going to be big enough, is it? I might have to get the other bigger bowl out, I think. In fact, I might do that now, I think. The other ingredients are going in there is, got to get this right, this is vegetable oil, 60 mils. And essentially 250 mils, it's one of these packs of coconut cream. Now that's not coconut milk, okay? That's different. This is like, coconut milk is what you get when you first crack into the coconut, and you get like the milk out. This is essentially where they sort of cream up the actual coconut flesh. So I think that's everything in there now. We've got the flour, we've got the baking powder, baking soda, sea salt, button, vegetable, sugar, eggs, vanilla extract, coconut extract we ain't got, coconut cream and the shredded coconut. Now 2/3 fill our cupcake cases. This is very runny, this batter, so I thought, oh, perhaps I'll use a jug, but I'm not sure how successful that's going to be. I'll probably drip it everywhere anyway. So we want to, like I say, about 2/3 fill our cases. My oven is on at 230. Yeah, see, there you go. First lot spilt. Sorry, not 230. 175 to 180 fan. Actually, I'm just going to fraction that down a little bit. And then we're going to bake these. They bake for about, getting on for 20 minutes, but usual thing, just check. You can either press down with your finger and see if it springs back, or you can do it with a cocktail stick. Whoops. And then we're just going to bring them out of the oven and let them cool thoroughly before we add the buttercream frosting on top. And it's going to be a Russian buttercream, which I'm not made before, I don't think. But we do need the cakes to be cold, and we will be decorating them. Remember, these are Easter bunnies. So that's the second batch. My oven can't be evenly cooking because this was the tray that was on the bottom shelf, and whereas the first tray, which was on the top shelf, that cooked in 18 minutes. Oh no, actually, yeah, 18 minutes. This second one, on the other tray, I had to give an extra 8 minutes. So, still learning how this oven works, so bear that in mind. So I'm just going to get the others off onto another rack, and then we want to cool them thoroughly, because we're going to put a buttercream frosting on top, and for what we're going to do with it, we need to make sure it sticks to it. So if this is warm, it's just going to fall off when we turn it upside down. But anyway, we'll come to that. So once this is cooled thoroughly, we'll make up our Russian buttercream, and then I'll tell you about the decorating of it, because we want them to look like little Easter bunnies. Our cupcakes have sufficiently cooled that we can now make our buttercream frosting. Now we're making a Russian buttercream, and for that you're going to need some butter. Obviously it's buttercream, 453 grams of that. I've got a can of condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk, 356 grams, a basic one of them can sizes, 120 grams of coconut cream. I think that's it. Butter. Yeah, oh, and if you have your coconut extract, which I haven't got, you'll be putting half a teaspoon of that in it. But before we can add them other ingredients, we're going to basically beat this for 5 minutes. I'm just about halfway, or just over halfway, but I don't want my mixer overheating. Now the trick with Russian buttercream is you've got to get the butter at the right temperature. You don't want it straight out of the fridge. Equally, you don't want it too soft. If it's too cold, it's very difficult to stop it being lumpy. We don't want obviously lumpy buttercream. If it's too warm, it will be sort of too runny. So if during all the mixing process it looks like it's not going to firm up enough, then you chill it in the fridge for about 5 minutes, bring it out and whip it some more, and just keep going like that until this has got to that temperature where it will firm up. So I'm just, as you can see, it's gone very sort of whippy, so I just need to finish that off. In goes that can of condensed milk. I would also at this stage, well, like I say, add all the other ingredients, which includes the coconut extract and the coconut cream. And then we want to whip, I mean this is really thick, this condensed milk, so it's a bit of a bugger to make sure we get it all out. And then we want to carry on whipping it up, until it becomes like a thick frosting that we can then pipe. Now you're going to then want a piping bag. So I'm just going to add some of that coconut cream. I'm not going to add all of it at the moment because I don't obviously want this too runny. And then you want a pipe bag with a wide round nozzle to pipe on top of your cakes with. Right, that's now thickened up. I've got my piping bag ready, but I've also got myself a bowl of desiccated coconut, shredded coconut. Okay, because we're now going to form our little bunny on top. That was a bit low. I want to swap that one for a minute. So I'm going to get that into my piping bag, and then I'll show you what we do next. So what I'm doing, I'm not sure if this buttercream is quite firm enough, so I might just slip it into the fridge because I really wanted bigger mounds than this. But we just take each one, and this is why you need to make sure it's cold, otherwise your buttercream's going to fall off when you tip it up. Now it's trying to slide off that one. We're just dipping it in there and coating it with that coconut. So I'm just going to get that done with all of them. So now we want to give our bunny some ears. Now for that we're going to use some marshmallows. Now these are the large ones. Like I say, this should have a more rounded shape, but I think also the way, because it was quite soft, that buttercream, when I then pushed it down into the coconut, that flattened it a bit as well, but never mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our marshmallows and we're going to cut it diagonally. Now when we do so, the inside bit is sticky, and so we're going to then dip that. Now she used, I think she called it like dusting sugar. I haven't got any. So instead I'm using these very small sprinkles to give the inside of the ears, and then we take our cupcake, and this is where we then want a little bit of that frosting that's still there, and just give it a little bit of a dab. I'm not sure how well these are going to stay on. So effectively glue the ears on top. Okay, so we're going to go through and do that with all our cupcakes. Put that one off there before we give him the rest of his face. And I've got 24 cupcakes and I've got 23 marshmallows, so one's not going to have a face. Oh dear. Now, Camilla, and I've checked, it is pies with tacos, and I think I might have called her Camilla Henry, it's Camilla Hurst. She uses like little sort of, well, these are mini chocolate beans, but something like that for the eyes. But I've got these googly eyes, so I thought I'll add them instead. So we just add 2 little eyes. Now the last thing with this is going to ping off. Yeah, you can feel it. I'm just lightly pushing them down into the frosting. Okay, and then I'm going to use these chocolate beans, like mini Smarties really, I suppose, and we're going to give them a little nose. And so finally we're going to take one of them little chocolate beans, and these are even more slippery than the eyes. And we're just going to give him a little nose. Now you could, if you wanted, pipe a mouth on there, but to be honest I haven't got a lot of room. But there you go, there's our Easter bunny. So I'm just going to finish the rest of these off, and then this poor little earless, eyeless, noseless one just have to have a taste. I've finished Easter bunny cupcakes, nice and coconut flavour, but aren't they? Let's find out. So this is the one where unfortunately the fox got to him and lost his ears. So let's just see what this one's like. It's nice and coconutty. The cake's moist. Buttercream, although it probably would have been easier to do normal buttercream, let's be honest. But doing it this way, you haven't got that intense sweetness that you get with buttercream. Feels lighter. Well, I say less sweet. A hint of butteriness, if you like, but the condensed milk at least takes that sort of buttery edge away. But very, very nice. So I might try and find somewhere a bit cooler just to help these firm up a little bit. And that's it. Thanks very much, Camille. I'm sure these are going to get eaten pretty damn quick.